Hi, my name is Turbine Majava, and I'm here to review Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Released in 1989, directed by Stephen Herrick. This was his second feature film, I believe. He had previously done Critters in 1986. That one is definitely a fun movie, a different kind of dark comedy in the vein of Gremlins, sure, but not as over the top or chaotic. Critters tend to be a little more mean spirited and focused, I guess, than Gremlins. Uh, I like that. I like that. Critters is fine. Of his other movies, it's possible that I've seen The Mighty Ducks and the live action 101 Dalmatians. But I was probably a child when I watched those, so I don't remember much about them. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was written by Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon. They were the ones to write all three Bill and Ted movies. Ed Solomon also co-wrote Men in Black, which is an awesome movie. Maybe he was responsible for the more comedic aspects, maybe the dialogue, I'm not sure. And I checked, and yes, Chris Matheson is indeed the son of author and screenwriter Richard Matheson. Apparently, all of Richard's three children have written for movies and TV. So there. When I first watched Excellent Adventure, I was struck by how weird it was to see Keanu Reeves, this excitable and lively. That is very close to what he's actually like in interviews. He's very animated and gesturing all the time. He's great. I haven't seen much of Alex Winter in other stuff, but he's also awesome in this. They make a great pair. Also, Ted's dad is played by Hal Landon Jr., dubious face guy from LA Noire, the greatest gift to that game, as well as the greatest gif from that game. Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves as Bill and Ted are absolutely great together. It's a very specific stereotype they're going for, the late 80s Californian metalhead slacker surfer dude who can't spell. I happen to find it funny and enjoyable. And I think the fact of how so very dated it is now, how dated this stereotype is, definitely adds to the humor. So it might even improve with age. Now, you could argue that these characters are both one and the same. And you'd be right, in my opinion. There is zero difference in how either of them acts or speaks. But I guess the whole point of them is being a duo together, and they are a great one. Their comedy is very physical as well as verbal. They're constantly doing grand gestures and exaggerated facial expressions and bumping into each other all the time. It's great. And somehow they still manage to continue to be funny even when their shtick has long overstayed its welcome. I'm not sure how they're doing that, but I do know it's pretty fucking excellent, dude. Excellent enough to actually manage to make me laugh more than once. That's a tall order for any comedy. I wanna talk about the visuals for a bit. The use of neon colors is very pleasant throughout this movie and typical of the time in the present day segments. I especially like the look of the scene where they first meet Rufus when strange things are afoot at the Circle K. It's a night scene with a lot of bright light sources all around. The scenes that are set in other time periods have more muted, earthy sepia tones, which also feels kind of appropriate and right. The special effects of the time are definitely charming, charming and campy, especially the time traveling sequences. Spoilers: there's time travel in this movie. The various time periods themselves they're executed in a simplistic way, which is also charming. Bill and Ted's costumes are a little ridiculous even for the time. Bill has this really stupid angularly cut shirt. I don't. And Ted has a vest, a black vest below his flannel shirt. I don't usually pay attention to things like this, but they make a point of contrasting them with other characters and, of course, time periods. I think it's funny. Right, so the acting and the visuals are pretty great. How about the script? Well, the premise is that Bill and Ted are about to fail history class, which apparently would be catastrophic for the future of the entire world, because their band, the Wild Stallions, spelled in the most retarded way possible, would one day create a utopia. So George Carlin shows up as Rufus from the future in a time-traveling phone booth. And utilizing this time-traveling phone booth, Bill and Ted can journey through time and collect various historical figures for their first-hand accounts in order to deliver the best history report anyone's ever fucking seen. Now that's a nice setup right there. And it is funny. The movie thrives on character interaction. We already have a great duo, and their shenanigans with historical figures is quite entertaining. Notable figures like Socrates and Beethoven are kind of personable as characters, well performed for sure, and they all have their own little funny moments, except for the two princesses Bill and Ted get from the 15th century to be their babes. Those two are unfunny and utterly pointless characters. But overall, character interaction is still a definite strong suit in this. Now then, I do have some frustrations with certain decisions and shortcuts in the script. It is much too safe and convenient at points, increasingly towards the end, and I would say being purposely dumb is not the best excuse for the script being too safe, convenient, and a little dumb. If you're gonna solve problems with time travel, which is supposed to be the central premise, wouldn't it be a good idea to show me the characters going through the trouble of doing that? You know, and not just telling me, oh, we did this in the past, so it would be like this in the present, and then we did this other thing. Trust me, dude, all of that really happened. It was just off screen, dude. No, You could have filmed at least a short scene, a montage, anything, a tiny sliver. Show, don't tell, please and thank you. The pacing is another big problem I have with this. The movie feels more than a little rushed as they just blow through these time periods. I'm sensing a lot of missed opportunities for some totally decent jokes, dudes. This is why a lot of the movie starts to kind of blur together immediately after watching it. I saw some clips on YouTube. I didn't remember they were in the movie. At the end, it is funny how Bill and Ted don't even tell Jeanne d'Arc and Abe Lincoln that they're gonna get murdered in their own time periods before sending them back to their own times. That's not very cool, dudes. But I guess you can't really expect Bill and Ted to know these kinds of things. You know, having failing history class and everything. Lastly, I could have used more scenes with George Carlin, please. He had a great time acting in these, apparently, so how about you make proper use of him? Huh? Maybe they were afraid of giving him too much stuff to memorize, even though at that point he had already done that for a fucking living for decades. He's one of my favorite stand-up comedians. Otherwise, this movie is a sufficient amount of excellent. For me, that's about a 6 out of 10 worth of excellent. I guess I expected something a little more well-crafted and more time travel focused without the shortcuts. But totally decent fun with a great duo. 6 out of 10. Above average. Right, so at first I was going to do the entire trilogy in one video, but this video is running long enough already, so I guess I'll see you in the next one for Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, dudes.